We are live. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I want to make sure this is working. So before we go any further, let me just flip over to the Weekly Webinars website and make sure you guys are actually seeing me and hearing me. And it looks like you are, so we should be okay. Welcome. Today we are going to learn all about Discovery Education Studio. It is a new program from Discovery Education, and today we have David Fisher joining us to teach us all about it. Can David?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure it's coming through.
Yep, loud and clear. All good.
Perfect. Okay, so before we go on any further, I want to just show you, I am here on the Weekly Webinars website, and you can see this is where Weekly Webinars, and I know we're seeing picture in picture. However, if I click this YouTube link over here, it's going to take me to the YouTube website. When I do that, I have a lot of people saying good morning, good morning. When I do that, if I click on the gear, I can click quality and make it 720p and look at how it looks now and watch. Voila! So much clearer, so much, what a better picture. So please go ahead and do that so that your viewing is better. And I'm just going to go ahead and move this whole presentation out of the way. And I'm going to escape out of this presentation real quick. I want to take you over to the Palm Beach Engagement Challenge, and I'm going to put that link in the chat window for you so that you can click on over there. This month's engagement challenge is on Studio. So we have tons of awesome prizes, and basically you or your students or both are going to create studio presentations and turn them in for lots of awesome prizes and exciting things. So this engagement challenge starts January 8th, but you can work on it now. And it's due February 14th on Valentine's Day. So to get you started on that, we wanted to invite David Fisher to join us and teach us all about Studio. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let him start.
Hey, thank you very much, Melissa. Just give me 1 second here, everybody. I just want to get my screen shared. All right, so you can see the screen, right, Melissa? I just want to confirm.
I can. I'm going to check out the Weekly Webinar website and make sure.
Awesome. So happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving break. I know I did. It was nice to have a little extra time off. And are we good, Melissa?
I'm still looking.
Okay.
A mess. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's Tuesday after vacation. Hopefully you have air conditioning in the building.
Yes.
You know what that's like.
Good.
All right, awesome. So yeah, welcome everybody. And I'm honored to be here today and very excited to share Studio with you. So Studio is Discovery Education's newest creation tool. And what really sets it apart from Board Builder, if you've had some experience with Board Builder, is that these really very cool features. First of all, it is not a singular long page. You can have multiple pages in it. And the other is that it offers real-time collaboration and real-time chat. And I'm going to show you how to get all of that sorted out and make it work to your advantage. So in your navigation bar, and everybody in Palm Beach has this in their navigation bar, I believe. In your navigation bar, you'll see a light bulb, and that light bulb will take you to Studio. And once Studio opens, you're going to see I've got quite a number of Studio boards in here as I've been working in this for a while. What you're going to see is that everything here, it's really easy to use. And since we have about half an hour, I'm just going to jump in quickly and run through things. If you have questions after today, just forward them to Melissa and she can get them to me. So this first page that you're going to land on is any boards that you've created. And looking across the top here, we have various tabs. So we have boards that you may have joined, and those would be boards that people have asked you to join or your students have shared with each other, which you automatically join. I'll explain that in a moment. Any boards you have published, which is boards that you have completely finished and have shared them directly to your classroom, that's publishing. If you've taken a board and created an assignment, and we also have direct links to your classrooms. And since your classrooms are already rostered, you're able to directly publish any studio project right to any of your classrooms. So let me run through how you actually build a studio board, because that's really where the magic takes place with this product. So we start here with the magic blue button, let's create, and that's where it starts. So the first thing that it's going to ask you to do is give your board a name, and spelling does count. And once you have that, there's a little hyperlink here for adding descriptions, tags, and grades. And here's why you want to have your students, and make sure that you do that as well. One, from your students' perspective, and this is something I used to do in the classroom when my students used Board Builder. If I had them write a description, it kept them focused on what the board was about, and it really reduced those squirrel moments. By adding tags and the grade levels that are great for this board, this is going to make those boards much more searchable in the future once our studio boards wind up inside of our general search. And that's one of those things we're still developing the algorithm on, and it's not too far away from being done. So the more information you can put in there now, the more play your boards will get down the road. Once you've got your name set, let's design your board. So there are two ways to get there. One, you can scroll down, or you can, two, go to the bottom of the page and click on choose a theme and template. So we have some great color themes available here, and we've also got a series of great templates. Templates that are great for creating wonderful educational experiences that are really engaging for your students. And also down at the bottom, we have a good number of templates that are designed around some of our most popular Spotlight on strategies, or our SOS strategies. So that way you can take an SOS strategy and turn it into a digital event in your classroom if you want to try that, as opposed to a paper pencil event. So from these templates up here at the top, the ones that a lot of teachers have shared with me that they really love so far include the school event, because that's a great little template that teachers can use to help publicize things that are happening in their classrooms and share within the school. The scientific explanation is a great way for your students to produce lab reports in a digital format. So that way it's, a lot less paper for you to have to deal with. And teachers also love the weekly planner, because as you are working more and more on digital planning experiences for your classrooms, here's a way that you and your grade level partners can plan together for a week or a couple weeks worth of units. I'm going to just jump in here and show you the empty canvas, because this is really a great way to see how you can build a studio board from scratch and realize it's a very easy thing to do. So once you select your template here, or the empty canvas, you click Start Creating. And it's going to open up to a really wide open screen that, in truth, you can do whatever you want with. And it all starts with the plus sign down here at the bottom. So from here, I have these available options. I can, oops, sorry about that. I can search Discovery Education for content that I can add on right away. I can add from my quick list. I can upload from my computer, so you can upload your own files. I can add text. I can add blocks, which allow you to add text and video and all kinds of other things. Or I can add another page. So I'm just going to start here by adding a piece of text, and I'm going to add a headline here. And just like in any other text box that you've encountered, you just double click in there and give it your title. And just like Board Builder, every time you make a change, it saves automatically. And what's great about everything here inside of Studio is once you pick a theme or a design or a template, if you decide you don't like it, you can change it anytime you want to. And you'll see that there are a couple of different design palettes here that allow you to do that. So the design palette up here in the black bar allows you to create a design for the entire board. So you can select any color theme, or you can select any number of really cool backgrounds. And what's also really neat is that you could pick a background that you might like and then decide that, you know, I really like the background, but I'd really like it colored. So you can do that. And if you don't like it, you can change it back again and do with it however you like. And the same thing is true for the rows here. Each row has a design template here, so you can pick the row design, you can pick a background, or you can pick a theme. You can leave it however you'd like to. You can create a custom theme where you can get down to those very specific color combinations. I just tend to pick something that is a little contrast, that gives a little contrast. You can also change some of your settings here. The 3 dots allow you to do things like duplicate the row or delete the row. And again, every time you make a change, it saves automatically. One of the nice things about Studio, just like with Board Builder, is you can add any content that you like from anywhere. So you can add content from us, and you can also add content from your computer. So there are a couple of different ways to get content onto the board that's our content, and I'm going to just start with that first. So in the upper right-hand corner here, next to the lovely gray avatar, there's a little ribbon. So that ribbon is actually your quick list. And if you're not familiar with our quick list, that is the way that you can bookmark resources inside of Discovery Education so you can use them over and over again without having to search for it. And when you open up any piece of content in a regular search in Discovery Education and you click the plus sign, that will add that item to your quick list. So to add something into the quick list, you just simply click on the add button and it will automatically add it in. It will, if it's a video, the player will already be created. If it's an image, the image will just sit there. If it's a piece of text, it will pop in there as well. And again, the default for every row is the same scheme. So again, I can click the design and change that. If I want to add some additional text here, I can use the plus sign, click on text, and I can add a paragraph. So this is the text box here. And if I just start typing in here or double clicking in there, I get a really nice text editor option here. So I can change my font style, I can change my font itself, the size, bold, italicized, underline, strike through. I can add hyperlinks in here. So if I want to use something that's not inside of Discovery Education, but I'm using Studio as a way to curate that information, I can send my students to wherever I want to go. And this little paper-looking icon with the folded corner, this is how you would upload a file. So if you have documents on your computer that go along with the content you're adding to the Studio board, you can upload those documents here, and then they become links to those items that will download on another device, or they would open in another window. And then, of course, you can have your bulleted lists and tables in here as well. So simply typing in the box, double clicking on it will let you do whatever you would like to do to that text. You can change the alignment. right? And then, of course, there are the options for the road design right from there, and away you go. And what's nice about Studio is you don't have to limit yourself to a single page. You can add as many pages as you like, and you can add as much or as little content to each page as you like. And there are a couple of different ways to add a page. So one is at the top, we have our page sorter. So if I click there, it's only going to show the single page, but it does give me the option of adding a new page. So I can do that from there. The other way I can do that is to come back to the plus sign, click on that, and I can click add a new page. If I add from the slide sorter, it's just going to add a new page. If I add from the plus sign, it's going to ask me to title the page. By default, it gives you the option of just numbering it, which is fine. And I'll just click create. And let's try that again. It's one of those. It must be Tuesday morning. So we're going to go third time a charm, and I'll add a page from here. So Melissa, apparently, it's one of those days for me too, unless refreshing is going to do that, and we'll try again.
It's Tuesday after break.
It's Tuesday after break, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you have a whole big audience, so it
Yeah.
only happens when the audience is there. When you're on your own practicing, perfect.
Yeah, it works perfect every time. Of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So while we're flustering here, the one thing to know is when your principal's in the room and this happens, always have a backup plan.
Exactly. Exactly. And I can go to any other studio board and pull that up, but I do want to prove to you that this actually does work. Oh, there we go. So don't give it a name and it goes perfect.
There you go.
So here you go. So now we're on page 2 of 2, as you can see, and you'll notice that the theme of the page carries over. So just to let you know, you don't have to keep this theme for this page. If you would like a different design, you can just come over here to your design palette, as I call it, and you can change this page to whatever you like, and it changes the color of it. And if you'd like to eliminate the background to none, it will do that as well. So you're not locked into the same theme throughout the entire studio board. So if you'd like to make some changes to it along the way, you're certainly welcome to do that. And adding content and adding pages to your studio board works exactly the same way all the way through. But here's where things really, really get powerful in terms of using this in your classroom. And it all starts up here with these tools right here. So a couple of things I just want to point out as far as our tools are concerned. Right now we're in the editor mode, and I'm going back to the left side of the screen. And I call it the magic wand because it looks like there's stars coming off of it. This is what the editor mode looks like. If I click the eyeball, that puts me into the preview mode. So this is what the board would look like inside anywhere else for anybody else who's viewing it. Just a couple other editor tools. The arrows here will let you move things up and down. You can delete rows from the row menu, and because it saves automatically, you don't have to worry about anything getting lost, and you can always add things back. At the beginning, I said that this is a collaborative tool. So there are a couple of different ways that you can invite others to work with you on your board along with varying permissions. So the first here is with the Collaborators button here. If I click on that, currently it says I'm the only person in the board. But if I want to add somebody to the board, here's how I can do that. First, it gives me these options. One, do I want somebody to allow them to edit the board? Yes, because if I want Melissa and I to work on a board together, she needs to have access to do that. Do I want students, for instance, to be able to chat? Well, that depends. If you are only having your students work on these boards in your classroom or in a computer lab, I would probably turn the chat off because there's no reason for them to chat through a keyboard if they're 3 feet from each other. If students are going to work on this outside of class, then I would allow the chat feature on. So, but don't worry, I will talk about chat in a moment. So all of those little teacher hairs on the back of everybody's necks don't need to go into alert mode. I'll explain in a moment. The last is, do I want to make them a moderator? So if I make somebody a moderator, that gives them the same kinds of privileges that I have as the owner. So unless I'm going to do something with a team where I want my teammates to be able to do those kinds of ownership things, I'm going to leave it off. So from here, there are a couple of different ways to do this. As a teacher in Palm Beach County, I can go right to my classroom and I can invite an entire classroom. I can invite several of my students. The other way that I can do this is I can just get the link for the board, and I can then go and put that into, excuse me, an announcement, for instance, in Google Classroom, and say, here's a studio board that I want everybody to access. Here's the link to it. And that way I can use that link to do that. So that's one way to get collaborators into your board. And it's probably the easiest way from a teacher perspective to be able to do that. The other way you can get people to your board is through the share options. So if I invite collaborators, it's the exact same option as I had a moment ago. If I want to assign or distribute a board, then this will allow me to take a board and assign it directly to my classes. So it'll go directly to the students. They will have to come into Studio themselves, and students have the same access to get the board. So that's another way. Publishing it directly to my class is another way to do that. And then we have the live link. So the live link is just a little bit different than inviting a collaborator link. And the way that it works is the live link is really like a view-only link. So you're giving people access to view your studio board and everything that's on it. They can't modify it, they can't join it, all they can do is view it. So if you create something and you want to just share it out, I would use the live link. So now let's talk about this chat option here, because this can be a really powerful yet sometimes scary place for teachers. From your perspective as an educator, sharing a board with your colleagues, I would turn the chat feature on because it's very possible that you may be working after school hours and not inside of your building together on some work. From the student perspective, you can look at things a little differently. And let me explain. From a student perspective, if Melissa's in my class, she can build 1,000 studio boards on her own for her use only. And as a teacher, unless she shares them with me or I log in and view her account, I'd never know about it. The minute that she does this and hits the Add Collaborators button, students are going to get the same features, except in the bottom of this box area here, there's going to be a message that says, oh, and by the way, your teacher, Mr. Fisher, is also being invited to join this board. So from your perspective as an educator, the only time you'll know that a student has invited anybody else to his or her board, whether it's a student or a teacher, is because you're going to get that notification right up here at your little avatar. There'll be a blue dot that you've been invited to join a board. And it's very clear to the students that teachers are invited. Now, students have the ability to turn chat on and off themselves as well. So as a teacher, you can set the expectation that it's on or it's off within your classroom. If students turn on chat, or you have students engaged in a board and they chat, the chat will take place inside of this area. So it's a great way for students to collaborate. It's a great way to share ideas. It's a great way to build responsible digital behavior. We do know students are students, and they're going to do their best to push our buttons no matter how hard we try to keep them in line. Here's the good thing. We have built into Studio a curse word protector. And I have tried it, and it works. And I have not broken it yet, although I have tried. So students who attempt to write something that is truly inappropriate will see a string of asterisks. If students type something that is not considered inappropriate and content related, but our filters deem as inappropriate, they'll see a string of asterisks there as well. If students type anything and one of your students comes to you and says, hey, so-and-so typed this thing in the chat with me and I was really upset about it, and you go and look for it and it's not there because it was deleted, you can always call our 800 number and we can recreate the chat for you. So we've built in these really nice protections in order to make sure that everybody, really plays nicely in the sandbox together. I know that was a really fast overview. I have 8:57, and I know, Melissa, if I'm sitting here correctly, we have a 9 o'clock stop. So I will be happy to take any and all questions that anybody may have. I'm going to stop. Where is that? Okay.
I popped on my screen real quick. I just want you all to remember that the homework is that you have to complete the survey. You have to be here in attendance, and you have to have a screenshot of something you've learned, all of which are due by December 21st. So please make sure you do that. Also in the chat on YouTube, and if you're just joining us, it's in the bottom right corner. If you click on the YouTube link, it'll take you to the chat. Please complete this short little survey for me so that I know if you need additional assistance on this or not. And also next week, that's the same link for the evaluation, we're going to learn all about Google Sites. So that's a great way to make your very own website. So I'd like to thank David Fisher for joining us and presenting today. I learned quite a bit because I was not as familiar with Studio as I wanted to be. So thank you very much, David.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And David will be back on this afternoon. So if any of your colleagues were not able to make it this morning, we do have another session at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So please invite them to join us. And also we hope that you will participate in the engagement challenge. And I'll post that link again in the chat window for you. Any questions, please go ahead and type them for us. Otherwise, that is all for today. Just getting that link to challenge 2 real quick to post in that chat window for us. And let's see if there are any other chats. So long, and thanks for all the fish. Awesome, David, or Daniel. Dan, thank you. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the presentation. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Bye, David. We'll see you at 3.
You got it. Have a good one. See you later.
Bye.